This is Ryan Abraham, Dan Weber, USCFootball.com. Instant analysis here on Howard Jones Field. Day 2 of USC Spring Football 2013. On Saturday, they're going to go out to the Coliseum, but today, the second day, we were out here on this 75-yard field. And Lane Kiffin named a couple guys he thought stood out today. Maybe you want to talk about them.
Yeah, real quickly, he just said it wasn't quite as much as day one, but George Yuko was the defensive player of the day. Silas Redd, who is running, as we said Tuesday, faster than we've ever seen him, is offensive player of the day. So I think Nelson Aguilar had a really good day. A lot of guys, I mean, it was pretty good, although as Mike Eckler, the linebacker coach, says, this isn't real football. Football is real football will be start Saturday when you put the pads on. So that's how the defensive guys look at this.
Okay, yeah, no pads today. And Justin Davis is another guy Lane Kiffin mentioned, had a second day in a row. He had a really good practice.
He's a tough kid. He made a couple of just really tough runs with 2 and 3 guys hanging on him and trying to take him down, take the football. He's a tough kid. That caught everybody's attention, I think. He just didn't give up and give in, and you got to like what you see with him.
He's kind of an under-the-radar guy. I talked to him. No one really wanted to talk to him after practice, but we just talked to him for the freshman notebook. But certainly a good player. And then another, not a new player, but a new position. We're seeing Max Turk for the second day in a row. Getting first-team reps at center.
And they've made the decision. He's going to be the center if he can do it. If it all works out, I know Lane said, a little tall. It used to be they wanted tall centers, and they kind of went away from him. He said, Mike Summers. Yeah, Mike Summers at 6'5". He said Mike Summers said, he coached a first-round NFL draft pick, so he's not afraid of having a 6'5" guy, and they just like him. He'd be around for 2-3 years. He would be. He's a smart kid, understands the game. Probably the one kid that could play all 5 positions if you really needed him to. Yeah. But he's clearly going to get the chance. And they put him under a lot of pressure today. He's, having to do a lot of shotgun snaps too.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to do a little running on the snaps. That's a big adjustment. He had a little work in the Sun Bowl practices, and he had a little work in the winter workouts, but not a lot. And then they just decided, no, Martin's going to go to guard, and you're going to be the center.
Yeah, he actually did a couple laps during the team run drills where they fumbled snaps, one with Kessler and one with Wittek. The new assistant coaches, Lane Kiffin talked a little about them. Maybe you can share what he said.
Well, he said, it's amazing when you think about it. Only Clancy's really been here. The other guys have been here 9, 10. I talked to Tommy Robinson. He said, I'll be honest. He said, I'm just trying to. He said, I'm really happy how hard they're working and how, but he said, I'm just trying to get to know them, and get used to them. I just think Lane said he thought the best thing about him, and he says, we got 4 new guys with no egos. He said, he really likes the way Clancy coaches on the field. He said he's very demanding, but he's not like, real showy or real grabby or anything. He's on the sidelines when they're going 11 on 11, but he said he's really demanding, and if you aren't, putting your absolute best effort, you won't be in there. And he said, I like the demanding way that the new coaches are about all the little things. And you saw them pulling kids out, getting their helmets back on, doing push-ups on the sidelines, just all the little things. It's got a different feel, and it's kind of amazing how quickly it seems to have gone together. I think Lane is even kind of like, wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah, Pendergast is a busy guy since there's only 3 defensive coaches, and he has to run the defense and do the defensive back. So he's got a lot of work to do out there.
And I think people, we see people on, posting on the P that say, boy, they're thin at, secondary, and you think, they got 12 scholarship guys and 3 pretty good walk-ons. They got a lot of guys. He's got a lot of guys to coach. I mean, now he's getting help at times from Ross Cumming, who's kind of also working with the outside linebackers. And there's a lot of sharing, in terms of, if you look at Devon Kennard and Jabari Ruffin and Morgan Breslin, they're kind of outside linebackers, but they're really defensive ends who can drop off. And Lane today said he also agreed that there's Mr. Kyle Negretti. We have to adjust to Kyle as Kyle goes by. One of the TJ McDonald was here too.
Yeah.
But Lane said, think of them as 5 defensive linemen. He said that's the way to think of them. I know people want to say they're outside linebackers and that, but he said 5 defensive linemen is the way to go. I mean, that's what we're looking at. He said it allows us to set the edge and allows us to widen up, and he said that's the way to go in this conference. And he said you're seeing more people realizing that in this conference you have to be able to do that.
All right. Well, Dan, appreciate it. For Dan Weber, this is Ryan Abraham wrapping up here from Howard Jones Field, day 2 of USC spring football. Check out uscfootball.com for more information.